Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. This is portfolio update number 147. And on Mondays, what I do is I deposit $100, and where the money goes depends on my allocation over at M1 Finance. So we can see the actuals and targets for each of the slices within my dividend portfolio. And I'll leave a link below so you can see exactly what's in this dividend portfolio. But we can see right here that the dividend portfolio slice, this is underweighted. So any deposits I make will go here first. And then once it catches up, here will go the ETFs, and then 12 more dividends last as it's over allocated. So let's just take a look at the 1 year performance of the portfolio, looking back exactly 1 year. So in early January last year, we were at about $224,000, and then we can see we are over $270,000. So a money weighted return of 19%, and then including dividends, it's at 23.91%. So let's go to the activity log and we'll see where those buys were. And one of the buys is going to be a dividend reinvestment with Kimberly-Clark, as that dividend was received on Saturday. And today was the first opportunity for that to be dripped right back into Kimberly-Clark. But we take a look, though, at what was purchased here, and we can see Kimberly-Clark here is more than what the dividend was. And so we can see that part of that money, the $100 that was invested, went into Kimberly-Clark as well as the dividend drip. So I just wanted to point that out really quick. But first up was Microsoft, and $16.09 went there to Microsoft. We'll take a look at the fractional shares bought, and it was 0.03758 of a share of Microsoft was purchased there. And then Coca-Cola, $10.86 of the $100 went into Coca-Cola, and it bought 0.17658 of a share. And then it looks like most of the money, most of the $100 went to Waste Management. $44.69 of it went there, and it bought 0.22297 of a share of Waste Management. We're also going to see the effect on what the next dividend is going to be for these investments as well. So Kimberly-Clark, 2073, part of it was the dividend drip and part of it was from the $100, and that bought 0.16067 of a share of Kimberly-Clark. And then last up, Pepsi. Pepsi's been struggling for quite a while, and so 1996 went over there. Another one's Hershey's. Hershey's and Pepsi are kind of my worst performers over the last year, I'd say. So at 1996, that bought 0.13359 of a share of Pepsi. We'll go over to my Google Docs spreadsheet, and here's where I track all of the different stocks within this portfolio. There are 52 different positions, and again, I'll leave a link below to my M1 Pi as well as this Google Docs spreadsheet. You can see it tracks the company, ticker symbol, the share price, the average share price that I've bought into each of these investments, number of shares that I own. Here's the value if I were to sell my shares. Here's the cost basis and gain or loss, including dividends. Here's the gain or loss expressed in a percentage. Anything above 25% will be in green. Here's the quarterly dividend, and then monthly in the cases where they're in blue for Realty Income and BST. Those are in blue, so those are my two monthly payers. Here's the current yield if I were to buy more shares of Apple. Here's the yield on my cost. Here's the pay date. Everything on this sheet is arranged or sorted by the pay dates. So we'll go into the month of January. We can see here are the stocks that have already paid me within the month, except for Pepsi. That one has not paid me. I put in the next dividend, so that is the dividend I should be getting. But Pepsi, I bought some fractional shares before, actually after the ex-dividend date, so it's not going to be that high. But I'm going to first show you how the next dividend in April is going to go higher. So we're starting at the 1858. That's like the ceiling. But I'm going to log into M1 and show you the next Pepsi dividend after we show the increase with the fractional shares. I know it's kind of confusing and hard to follow, but hopefully it'll make sense in a little bit. So far, what I've received in dividends in January was $30.26, and we'll carry that over to the dividend tracker tab in a moment. And then we can see also the total dividends received for each of these positions and the last increase, like with Apple. May was the last month they did an increase, and hopefully in May of 2025, Apple will do another dividend increase, and hopefully more than 4%, which was the last one. So what I've done is I put in the dividend to show how the next dividend is going to go up for these positions as well. I showed you Pepsi. So Microsoft, Coca-Cola, Waste Management, those are going to go up, as well as the April dividend for Pepsi. It's going to be higher than the 1858. And also the cash flow for the monthly, quarterly, and annual is going to change. Let me go ahead and copy these values over here so we can see those go up as well. So it's going to go up over here. And then let's see here. We're going to grab some data over at M1, and we're going to update this sheet over in the M1 data tab. We're going to put that information. So what we do is we go to the holdings tab and we grab all the information over here, starting from the name column. We'll scroll down here. We'll grab this information, and this is going to grab the information showing the number of shares, the average share price, the cost basis for each of these positions, rather than me having to type in the new information for those positions, for those buys. Where we had the 5 buys, I would have to change all the information, so it'd be 15 entries I would have to change. Instead, I've just copied that information from M1 on the holdings tab, and then we're going to paste it into the M1 data tab, and it's going to automatically change that. And again, I'll leave a link below for the sheet so you can see how it all works. It uses VLOOKUPs, really is all it does. So paste special values only into the A column, and then it pulls the shares, cost basis, and average for each position. You can see SCHD, the number of shares, the cost basis, and the average cost. This did not change because we did not buy any additional shares of SCHD. We'll go back to the portfolio tab, and we'll see what's changed here. So for Microsoft, the dividend is now moving from 667 to 670. That will be in March, approximately March 13th. And then also in March, approximately March 17th, Coca-Cola is moving from 1081 to 1090. You can see how these kind of increment, even with a $100 deposit, spreading it out. These are all positively moving up. And I do 2 buys twice a week. And on the second half of the week, on Thursday or Friday, I pick 5 stocks and I put $20 into each of those. So these are kind of M1's picks based upon my allocations. So Waste Management, that's moving from 757 to 774. And then we can see Pepsi with that deposit in there with the amount I put in there. We're moving from 1858 to 1876, but I'm going to look up what the next dividend is going to be. It's not going to be this high because, again, I bought some shares of Pepsi after the ex-dividend date, so it's not going to be eligible for that amount until approximately April 7th. So 1858 to 1876 there. I believe that covers those. So let's scroll down here. We'll see the change in the cash flow averages for monthly, quarterly, and annual. So the monthly, we're moving from 1,034.81 to 1,035.03. And then quarterly is moving up from 3,104.42 to 3,105.09. And then annual moving from 12,417.68 to 12,420.36. So we'll delete those. And we're going to carry over this amount, the 1035.03, over to the monthly average dividend tracking tab. And I'm sorry, my voice is a little bit off. I've been very sick, so I'm trying to just get through this the best I can. So my apologies. I know a lot of people just around the country are going through this same thing. It's not fun. So 1035.03. Scroll to the bottom here. We'll put that amount in there, 1035.03. And that the event was Kimberly-Clark dividend drip and $100 deposit. So that added 22 cents of monthly income to the portfolio. I know that does not seem like much, but when I'm doing multiple buys per week, as well as dividend drips, and there's dividend increases all the time, this just keeps going up and up every couple days. Just there's something, sometimes there's multiple ones in a day, or you can see from the 19th to 20th, every day there's something happening. And there's usually not much of a gap between something happening. Here is 4 days, 1 day, 2 days, 1 day, 3 days. So you get the idea how it just keeps incrementing upwards and upwards. So let's move on to the dividend tracker tab. Now, I've been doing these videos since January 2021. So for 4 years, you can see the portfolio value where we started from and the dividends paid in the month of January 2021. Let's fast forward to January of 2025, and we're going to update the dividends paid. Looks like we didn't count the Kimberly-Clark amount that paid in there, so we'll put that in there. So we're at $30.26, and just starting out the month of January, we can see the new average monthly dividend here at $1,035.03. We've added 46 cents of dividend income to the portfolio, month over month change of 0.04, and that's not very much because, well, we're in the first week of January, so that's to be expected. Here's the annual dividends at $12,420.36. We've increased that already by $5.52, adding $100 in here with that deposit. So that takes care of that. Let's go update Pepsi really quick before we forget. Remember, I told you this amount's not going to be we're actually going to receive. So let's go back over to M1. Go to the portfolio tab. And then Pepsi is in the dividend portfolio. We'll find it, kind of show you how you can see how you check on your dividends at M1. So we found Pepsi here. We'll move to the, I believe the 3 month, yeah, because the 1 month it wasn't showing it. You can see a dividends earned right there is at 0. So we have to show the 3 month view, 1049. That can't be right. There's got to be something I'm missing here. Because that would explain it. I selected Aflac. I clicked way too quickly. So let's go back and try that again. So it was correct. So I don't know how that happened. I thought I clicked on Pepsi. This time we have Pepsi. There we go. So let's go to the 3 month. Yeah, it shows the 1702. Yeah, for some reason I checked before in 1 month it's not showing anything, but that's going to be the dividend I'm going to wake up to tomorrow morning with Pepsi. Let's put that in there real quick. So 1702. And then I'll increment this for the total dividends for Pepsi, 17.02. There we go. We've got that in. So not a bad dividend, but look at what it's going to be 3 months from now at 1876. And then May, I can expect a dividend increase from Pepsi as well. Hopefully it's 7% or more. We'll see. I'd even take 5% from Pepsi. Let's do a count up of those dividends. We'll update it to 47.28. So it just keeps going up and up. And then a couple more days, on the 9th, I'll get Merck. And we'll see that one come in. We'll just take it real quick and see if I purchase this or any of these fractional shares after the ex-dividend date. Let's see if I can find Merck really quickly. And hopefully select Merck and not a different company like I did before. I don't know how I selected Aflac. I'll have to look back in the video and see how I messed that one up. So let's go back to, let's see, the 1 month view. Yeah, it does show, it's weird how M1 sometimes does that, where you have to go to the 3 month instead of the 1 month, but it's showing it 1081. So it looks like I did purchase some fractional shares after the ex-dividend date. So you can see the 1081 is what I will be getting on the 9th. I'm not going to put that in yet. I'll wait till it's closer, or actually on the date when I receive it. But what I'll do is on the 9th when I received it, I'll put the 1081 in there and do the same thing and change that as well. Actually, while we're at, while I was talking about Aflac, let me show you something really quick. And Aflac, let's see here. Let's see where they're listed here. I think they just paid their dividend in December. Here they are right here. So we're going to look up their next dividend pay date here. So I think they have a newer one. We'll go to dividendinvestor.com. We'll pull up Aflac and we'll change that date. This is what I do is every so often, probably once a week, I start looking up some of the tickers and see if they have a new dividend date. And then I update the sheet and I resort it. And what I do is I add a day because M1 has a 1-day delay, so I'll put in March 4th for Aflac. We'll find Aflac again. There they are on the 9th row. It was March 4th will be when I actually received that dividend from Aflac. Then I'll resort them, and it's going to push Aflac now down to the March. And this will repeat for all these December payers. They're going to be pushed down to March. So these just keep cycling. They pay me in 1 month, and then 3 months later, they're paying me all over again. And in the case of the monthly payers, or O and BST, those are paying me every single month. So it never stops. They just keep paying me over and over and over, which is great. So let's go on to the total net worth statement for me real quick. My portfolio over here at M1, this taxable brokerage account, this is about 15% of my total net worth. We'll go over the rest of my net worth. And over at Vanguard, I have an IRA. It's a traditional IRA. I have a small Roth IRA and taxable brokerage account. Total over there is at $477K. Here's my current employer 401K with T Rowe. I've got an S&P 500 index fund, and it's out at about $100,000. And then over at M1, I also have an IRA there, traditional IRA. That's valued right now at $712K. Then here is the dividend portfolio that we went into at length, the 274 there. At M1, I have a 1-year emergency fund at $57.5. These things I'm rounding to the nearest to $100. Synchrony, I have a 6-month emergency fund at $26.8. And here's my 2-month kind of cash cushion over at Capital One Savings at $11.3. Here's my home value. Here's my liabilities. Here's my current balance on my only credit card right now that I'm really using. It has 2% cash back and $192.85. I don't carry a balance, so I don't pay interest. And this will increment as the month goes on. So I just paid it off before it was due, like a week before it was due, and just reset it. And then I just keep putting bills in there and things like that. And here's my other liability, my mortgage, my home. And then subtracting out the liabilities, here's my total net worth at right about 1.8 million. So I'm back in the 1.8. I was at 1.7 last week. Really not too important to me as long as I'm just sticking to my strategy, which is to keep on investing into my 401k right here, as well as also investing into my taxable brokerage account, also dripping dividends from over here as well. I also dripped the dividends from the 401k back into this S&P as well. Same here over the IRA. So that's the strategy, and I'm sticking to it. We can see, let's check out what my average monthly dividend is. I'm at $34.7221. This is for everything. And here's the average dividend for the dividend portfolio, the $1,035.03. Remember that, we went over that. And this is everything, including the IRAs, the 401k, as well as interest from savings accounts, and that is the total of that. And I could easily live off that right now if I paid this off. Could live quite well on that because I don't have any other debts. I don't have car payment. I don't have student loans. I don't have credit card debt or anything like that, or a HELOC or a second mortgage or anything like that. So you can see also too, I've been tracking my net worth really, carefully from November 2022. You can see how it's gone up from there, from 1.2 to 1.8, and that's just been doing what I've been doing in my strategy of just keep on investing and trying to save as much as I can while also living a good life as well. But the increase has really been just the stock market going up and no huge wins at all. You can see how it's just incremented up. You can see how I track my W-2 income against my expenses. I try to always have a gap, and the gap does not even include the dividends or interest from savings or anything else like that. It's just straight W-2 income and subtracting out the expenses there. As you can see, December I dropped into the 1.7s. Here's my high water mark was in November. We'll see if we can get above that. I don't know if we will in January. We'll see. I think something's got to change in the economy a little bit. But you can see here's the breakdown in stocks, home equity, and cash. And then the pre-tax, after-tax, you can see that split there. And then U.S. international. So I think that sums up the video. We'll go back into the buys and I'll show you again what M1 selected. This is not my selection. It's based upon my percent allocations for each of my investments. So these are things that just became underweighted based upon just the market and things going down. So it's just trying to rebalance pretty much with that $100. So went into Microsoft, Coca-Cola, Waste Management. Part of it went into Kimberly-Clark, because about $8 of it. The 12 was from dividends. So just wanted to point that out. And then $19 went into Pepsi. So let me know in the comments below what you are thinking about buying this week. Again, I apologize for kind of being sick and being low energy, and I hope you guys are staying healthy and not sick like me. But thanks for sticking to the end of the video. If you got value from the video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. My next video will be my second half of the week buy on Thursday or Friday, where I pick 5 stocks. You'll see what those are. And again, it's $20 into each of those. And again, I'll show you the change in the next dividends and what that does to my dividend income going forward. Thanks again, everyone. I hope everyone has a great week.